He's been outstanding for the club and really changed the direction of where we're heading.
What he's done for this club, off the field, has just been, amazing.
One of the best appointments that we've had, certainly in my time at the footy club.
When you hear him talk about our football club, his passion really resonates.
I think he relaxes a lot of the guys before a game and has a bit of a laugh, which is always good.
He's a really bubbly personality to have around your football club. He wants to bring fun to Port Adelaide, and there's no doubt he's done that so far. He's certainly a person who wants to lead the club and, and make sure that we become relevant in the whole of Australia and not just in Port Adelaide.
Am I supposed to speak or are you hosting?
Welcome back to Game Day, everyone. We have got a terrific panel here.
Good to have you here, Koch.
Good to be here, Sam.
Yeah. I do feel like there's a cash cow about to walk in or something. Hey, just a bit about you before we continue to talk about the extraordinary things at the Power. Kilimanjaro twice.
Yep. Second time I was an idiot. Joe Hockey convinced me to do it for charities, so and got to do it with one of my sons-in-law and my son, so that made it special. That's a photo from the first time with my daughter. Yes, voted Australia's second daggiest dad behind Konya. I'm very proud of that.
Heap of fluoro, but a very, very good comeback. You went from fluoro daggy to seriously cool in the Mustang.
Yeah, well, that's my second-hand Ford that I love, so it's good.
You must be enjoying the ride as much as any president ever has. I mean, we continue to talk about it, but Port were literally a carcass 2 years ago, and now you are possibly minor premier and final crown. The numbers on every measurement, Koch, are extraordinary, and it's a real credit to you.
No. Look, it's a whole of club push. We all signed on. Ken, Travis Boak, Keith Thomas, the whole board. We've got a dream, and we want that dream to come true. And I think we're in a unique position where you could bring change to an organisation quickly. There was no pushback at all, because if things couldn't get any worse. So it was a unique opportunity. So, we turned the club on its head, we changed the culture, we brought the fun back to footy, and we just got a great bunch of young guys. Remember, we're still the third youngest team in the comp, so, our best is ahead of us, which is exciting.
Well, Kochie, let's talk about on-field. It's been a great year so far, but speed wobbles potentially now 3 out of 4 against some pretty good sides. So how are you seeing the on-field performance at the minute from the President's chair? Oh,
look, I'm just really proud of where we've come from. No one picked us to be in the 8 this year. We, again, have a young team. They're coming to grips with going from the hunter to being the hunted. I think that's a very different pressure. And also, as the season rolls on with young bodies, they've just got to get harder and fitter. And, we've got re-signed Darren Burgess, our high-performance coach, until the end of 2018. So, we've got the building blocks that these young guys will continue to develop and to harden up as a team. And I think it's all those nuances that we have to learn. We're at the start of a journey here, and we're not getting carried away, never have. Even when we're on top of the table, everyone was making all sorts of grandiose predictions. We certainly were. We know exactly where we're at.
Kochie, I was witness to the atmosphere in Adelaide last week, but just at the Scarsies, you got one there. How did it come about?
Available at the Port Adelaide Megastore. Online now.
How did the song Never Tear Us Apart before the guys run through the banner come about? And was it a bit of a rip-off of the Liverpool Never Walk Alone?
Never a rip-off, Brendan, at all. Would you believe I went to school with Kirk Pengilly? So this is my very favourite song. But it was our marketing team that came up with it. And we want to make a day at the footy, a really fun family affair, and with lots of entertainment, a lot of tradition. And it all started the first game at Adelaide Oval, and we did it as basically an experiment, the 60-second countdown clock to the bounce of the ball, and it just has taken off.
It's quite powerful when as an opposition player. I was at the far end warming up, but you do stand up and take notice when it's going on. So at the same time, it almost was pumping us up as well. So it might have backfired you on that.
No, we don't want that to happen.
It'd be flat as a tap next time.
Yeah, that's right.
With the new ground, it's very, very noisy. We played Adelaide there a couple of weeks ago, and it's very echoey, very loud. Is it true that you guys
down at Alberton. Is that still your home base? Actually train with the speakers and the noise.
And when we train at Adelaide Oval the day before, we pump up the noise. The residents of North Adelaide aren't terribly happy about that, but just to get used to that whole atmosphere. But you know, the way South Australians have of both clubs have adopted this oval is sensational. Look, if you go away for one trip a year to follow your team, make sure it's to Adelaide Oval. It is very special, so come along.
I think on Friday night, the crowd numbers have been extraordinary. It was the 5th time this year there was a 50,000 plus. In 23 years at Amy, there's only been 5 50,000 pluses, which is extraordinary.
That's right.
The key now is to get the deal right. I think it's 70 cents per dollar that you guys were guaranteed. You're not there yet. You meet on Friday to get it right.
We do. That's a start.
You'll get it right?
We will get it right. We're determined to get it right. The only reason we moved into Adelaide Oval is, on behalf of the Crows and ourselves, was goodwill. We didn't want to embarrass the AFL or the government, and the reason we started there, because neither of us was happy with the deal, was that this review was going to start in July, and written into that review is that both clubs would get 70 cents in the dollar. Now, that's an MCG deal. We're not being greedy. We're not saying, hey, we want... You know, Geelong has
Patterson's
the best stadium.
78 cents.
Exactly right, but that's unique, and we certainly don't even expect to get to that. But we don't want it to be an Etihad Mark II. You know, stadium deals are the lifeblood of every club, and I certainly don't want in 20 years' time the Port Adelaide board, whoever's on that board, sitting around going, hey, which idiot signed this deal?
Well, it seems, Koch, I mean, it gets a bit complicated, but football in South Australia, the SANFL's got the historical grounds there. But it's got to be a top-down approach. The football in the state has to be run and driven by the 2 AFL clubs, and it flows the other way. It flows down from there, not the other way up. It's got to be that way.
We're the economic generators. South Australian taxpayer put $600 million into this ground to really underpin cricket and football to make sure we're financially stable to take on the big boys in Victoria.
Last one before break. You're going to be about $3.5 million better off this year at Amy than at Adelaide than Amy, and the Crows will be about 4.5. If you get it right, how much better do you think you'll be?
On our current performance and with our current crowds, it could be $2 to $3 million.
Again. So it could be like $6 million better off. It's going to be great, isn't it?
See, we get no upside at the moment. We get no food and beverage. Port Adelaide fans are, you know, good drinkers and eaters. And the costs have gone up as well. So they've got to be brought back. We've got to analyse it, and all the figures have got to be transparent. That's what we want. We need to know about it. It is a public asset. It is a government asset.
You and the AFL will get it right. There's no drama.
Favourite Port Adelaide player?
Yes, Travis Poke. He will end up being one of the great captains of Port Adelaide in our history.
Are the Adelaide Crows sooks?
No.
Do you think that you're more famous than Eddie Maguire?
No.
Is there just a little of David Koch that says, I've got Eddie covered?
No, I don't have him covered. If I could be half as good as Eddie as a club president, I'd be very happy.
Koch and BT head-to-head. They're sort of strapped up like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, I know. I felt like the electricity was going to go through me.
How many 8 years or something doing the show. I've never had one of the panel members ask for a share tip during the advert. Unbelievable. I think what a different dynamic at the moment. Auskick, I love it. Friday nights, really enjoy doing stuff with those guys. Your grandson, Oscar, he's a part of it all now.
Yep, absolutely. Would you believe he plays for the Kowloon Cobras in Hong Kong? So we had 45 Auskickers from Hong Kong, a touring party with their family and friends, 220 to that Essendon game, and it was just wonderful. And we hope to play an NAB Cup game in China next year.
And that is you, obviously, on the right. And your first granddaughter was born during the presentation of the 07 Grand Final when Tommy Harley was thanking his sponsors. Yep,
Matilda was being born. I was down in the rooms and it was like a morgue down there. 07, you know, we'd like to expunge from our memory. But my daughter rings me up and says, Poppy, you've got a granddaughter.
Yeah,
so
right.
So it's really good.
Actually, quick hands before we let you go. Is it true you have a third nipple?
Yes.
My daughter has a third nipple as well. Born with it, just sits there.
Yeah, no, just there. It was a big boil to start with.
All right. Koch, is it true you once fronted In Excess?
Yes, for a song saying "Don't change." They said our people will talk to your people. I've never heard from them again. So yes.
Koch, is it true that when you go to bed and you read your e-book,
yes,
technology savvy, that you can't get through the first page without falling asleep?
Yes. It's like a trigger in my brain.
He's probably going to bed at 5:30 in the afternoon since he's been up at 3 a.m. Now, I know the answer to this. Is it true, Kochie, that even when you were flying business class, you line up in the economy queue?
Who told you that?
Well, I reckon I've seen it. I reckon I've seen it, yes. There you go. What a man of people, David Koch. He's free upgrade.
He pays for an economy ticket and that's a free upgrade.
Look at that. Yeah. Otherwise, you just look a tosser.
Good luck for the rest of the year.
Mate, thank you for that. Thank you.
Nice to have Koch on.